Hello and welcome to All Things Sports. Before we begin today's episode, we would like to take a moment to address the recent events in Texas, and we here at All Things Sports would like to say that Danny and I are both very sorry for the losses of all the families involved, and we will now be taking 21 seconds in remembrance of the victims. As he said, welcome to episode 5 of the All Things Sports podcast. My name is Zach Bischoff, and I'm here with
Danny Sandwich. And just as Zach said, I just want to extend my thoughts and prayers to all the families affected by the tragedy in Texas.
All right, now today we are going to be talking about, as usual, the NHL playoffs. I do not have the agenda prepared to show you all on YouTube today, so unfortunately, I apologize for that. So we're going to be talking about the NHL playoffs, the NBA. Let me look at my thing. The NBA, the NBA playoffs, and then the NFL Steelers talk, and then finally Major League Baseball. I'll take you through the playoffs. Let me say, pull the bracket up here.
I believe so, yes. That was fun. Yeah, man. I mean, it's a great time of year, right? I wish the Panthers were still in it, obviously, but the quality of hockey is not disappointing, man. I mean, to start off, I think the story of what are we in now? The second round, I guess, is really just how dominant the Lightning were over Florida. I mean, statistically, Florida was the best team in the NHL this season, and I mean, the Lightning swept them. I mean, that speaks for itself. They dominated the series, right? Through Vasilevsky had 49 shots in, I believe, the clinching game, and it was a shutout. I mean, like that's that is unbelievable. So, I mean, I think it just shows like how consistent and how just good from top to bottom the Lightning are, because they've gone back to back Stanley Cups, and they're trying for a third right now. So I just think what we're witnessing is historic. I mean, you look at the most recent team is the 16-17 Penguins that went back to back, but they're trying to go back to back to back, and they're making it look easy. So I thought that was very been very fun to watch for sure, but also annoying to watch as a Penguins fan.
All right,
Your
great.
thoughts, Zach?
Yes, the Battle of Alberta. Let me adjust my camera here. The Battle of Alberta has been an amazing series to watch. Yeah, I think that's been I love watching Mark Sutter's press conferences. Like I saw a reporter asked him. It was early. I guess it was early game in the series. He goes, "What are your keys?" The reporter says, "What are your keys to staying out of the box?" Mark Sutter, stay out of the box. I mean, he's 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 a legend of a guy. I mean that's gonna be a great series. I'll be interested to I kind of want Calgary to win it. But I don't think it's gonna
Calgary?
happen. But I still think that it will be Canes Avalanche in the Stanley Cup Final.
Canes and what? Sorry, Jack.
Canes and Avalanche.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, hard to disagree with you there, man. I mean, Avalanche. Although I will say this, yeah, the Blues are they're hanging around. They got the 3-2. I mean,
Yeah,
and what I worry about, if I were a Colorado fan, what I would worry about is we will get through. I think they'll win in 6, right? I don't think the Blues can beat them for a third time.
Nope.
I'm back. Don't worry, my bad. But if I were an Avalanche fan, I would be worried about the fact that we've been struggling, or not we, but they've been struggling to close out a series. So that's something to watch. And I think for morale's sake, they really. I mean, you don't want to go into Game 7 in the second round, especially for how talented the Avalanche are.
Yeah, the Avalanche they're a really good team. I saw that Nate McKinnon goal.
Oh man,
that was amazing.
That was filthy.
Yeah, and I think that series has a lot of more like greasy goals left in them.
Right.
So that I think will do it for the NHL segment of the All Things Sports podcast. We'll be right back to talk about as you can see here, the
Zach. Hello, welcome back to the All Things Sports podcast. This is the first time for me leading out of break, so here we go.
sure, Daniel.
We are going to talk about the second segment of our show, the NBA. So get excited, guys! It's conference finals / finals season in the NBA. Just to give a quick rundown of the series to date, in the Western Conference Finals, it is 3-1 with the advantage going to Golden State, and in the finals, the Boston Celtics are 3-2 on the Miami Heat, and lots to dive into here. The Mavericks won the game yesterday by a score of 119-109, and I was glad to see that the Mavericks, again, young team, that got a game under their belt. I think that's good experience for them. Again, I keep saying this, and I think I said this last time we talked, but the Mavericks, great team, right? Really, really solid team. They got Luka Doncic, who was amazing last night, and a number of like a good young core. But so in a couple of years, they're going to really develop into a powerhouse in the West. But right now, the Curry and Thompson and Draymond Green, I just think they're too much for them to handle right now. And I would be shocked if they were able to come all the way back and win in 7. Although crazier things have happened. So I think Golden State will definitely advance in that series in 5 games. I'm going to say, and then in the Eastern Conference finals, it was more the same. I mean, it was a tale of two halves again. And I actually have a stat that I'm going to drop. So the Celtics won. I believe it was 93-80, right? But again, all of the games, especially in the Boston Miami series, have been a tale of two halves. It's been a blowout, but not a tale of two halves, but just blowouts. And last night for Boston it was a tale of two halves for them, because it always seems like the team that gets out to the bigger lead ends up losing in the end. So Miami, and I'm pulling out my stat notebook here, but
I
same
see
thing
that,
happened
Daniel.
in game. What's up?
I said I saw that. I like that.
Hey, thanks.
Shows real
Appreciate you.
preparation. We're real we're professionals.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Oh yeah.
continue.
Baby.
Continue.
Here, we'll see. No, but I was just gonna say, I keep saying tale of two halves for the Boston Celtics, but it's true. They let's see if I can read my own writing. That's a challenge. In the first half, right? I believe 0.8 points per possession, and I believe they had 36 points on 56 possessions, if I'm not mistaken. Which is wildly inefficient. But then in the second half, they have 56 points on 41 possessions. So really efficient, right? And I just think it is so interesting to me, Zach, that in the NBA, games can be this sloppy at times. I mean, it's because of the playoffs, the defensive intensity goes up, but it almost feels like, especially in the Eastern Conference Finals, a lot of the time you'll get it out to a lead, whichever team gets out to a lead, and then the other team that is getting blown out, they'll kind of give up because they know it's just been really interesting to watch. Even these games, and I think it shows how taxing the playoffs can be. But it's just been interesting to watch, how sloppy these games can get at some times in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right. It was great insight, Daniel. You're our NBA guru here at the All Things Sports Podcast.
I don't know about that. That's pretty generous, Zach. But thank you, buddy.
Well, considering I don't know anything about the NBA, so, and you know a lot. I mean, you're pulling out darn stat sheets over there. So
preparation.
I know, yes. Yeah, hey, it's actually actually making us look like professionals, even though we're really not.
Correct.
All right, so that is going to do it for the second segment of the All Things Sports Podcast. When we return, we are going to talk about Steelers talk and the NFL. So we will be right back right here on the All Things Sports Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the All Things Sports Podcast. This is going to be segment 3 of our podcast today, specifically the NFL and more specifically, I guess, Steelers talk. So I guess the biggest news this day. What you say?
I said Steelers. Proceed.
Yes, sir. There it is. His first going to the Super Bowl. But biggest news of the last
No, we aren't.
22 hours, maybe 24, is the hiring of the new Steelers general manager, Omar Khan. What are your thoughts on that, Zachary?
I think that's a I think that's a good hire. I think that'll help us. I mean, I don't really know what his background is at this moment, but he should be a good hire. And we're gonna miss good old Kevin Colbert, but I
Right.
think it'll be interesting to see how the Steelers do under Omar Khan.
Yeah. I was listening to a little bit of local radio, and apparently he was like his area of expertise, Zach, was dealing with salary cap. So like whenever contracts would be coming down the wire, or trying to figure out the cap situation, he was their guy, and he's been with the Steelers from what I understand for a while now. So I think they wanted to bring in a guy that knew how the Steelers kind of operate. I guess knows how the Steelers kind of operate, and um, but I thought it was interesting, Zach, and I wanted to ask you this question. I heard this question posed to a guest on local radio. So you know how the GM, right? Their area of expertise, not like the one of the processes that they're heavily involved in is the draft. So next year when the Steelers are picking wherever that is, and they're on the clock and they're trying to decide who's their guy. Do you think the new general manager Omar Khan gets the final say, or does Coach Mike
No,
Tomlin get the final say?
now I think that Khan will have a a greater involvement in selecting, but I think that a draft pick should always be a coach's decision, the final decision
Mm-hmm.
anyway. But I think that Khan will have a bigger role in selecting players.
Right. I tend to agree with you, Zach, and especially what I was thinking. What I was thinking is just Tomlin's been there for so long, and although Khan has been within in the Steelers organization for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, it's his first year, so I think he kind of got to go. And like you said, I honestly think coaches should be given more leeway, honestly, than they are now. There seems to be sometimes too many cooks in the kitchen.
I think I agree with that. Sorry for the awkward pause. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. All right, what else do we got here? We got what else happened in the NFL today?
Let's see here in the NFL. There's been we got OTAs.
Yeah,
Oh, and Deontay Johnson.
yeah.
So I'm not super familiar with Deontay Johnson's contract situation. But it seems like he wants more money, and I guess there was a whole story about how he I don't know if it was OTA. I don't think he showed up to OTAs, and I also don't think he showed up to his. Now I'm not fact checking this, so I don't know if this is quite right, but I don't think he showed up to his football camp that he runs for kids. So people were very critical of Deontay Johnson in the last couple of days. So, Jack, do you think what's your opinion on Deontay Johnson, Zach?
I mean, I like him, but he drops too many. He drops too many passes.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I want to correct. I want to make a small correction, and I apologize on Danny's behalf. Um, the It was confirmed today by Chase Claypool, a receiver, that Deontay Johnson has not been in the. It's not reported to OTAs. Again, they're not mandatory.
Right.
Um,
They're optional,
they're optional.
as
Yes,
the O stands for.
I would say something inappropriate, but I'm not going to because we will get taken down on all of our podcast platforms. Anyway, Um, anyway, again, I'd like to apologize on Danny's behalf for that monumental mistake. But yeah, I think I'm sorry. I think Deontay Johnson. I think he'll sign here, but it'll be interesting to see. Like he's gotta help. Um, gotta not have butterfingers anymore. You know,
Right.
he's gonna be
I think
good.
no. Yeah, are you good, Zach?
Yeah,
Or do you want me to?
good.
Okay, sorry. No, but I think the biggest thing with Deontay Johnson, right? We've been saying for a while now, like we've been when he dropped the ball, we've been like we've kind of given him not the benefit of the doubt because Pittsburgh fans don't do that and they should more
Oh God,
than
no. No.
but
We don't do that here.
no sir. But I think the biggest thing with him, we've been saying, oh, like looking at how much potential he has. Well, at some point or another, he's got to really kind of realize that potential and start producing when we need him the most. Because he'll be like he just got to get more consistent. I feel like, and that's with all receivers. Like Claypool was good, but he's got a guy always come back to the play that against the Vikings that cost us 10 seconds. Like he's got to realize, and I know he made a tough catch and he was celebrated, but like he's got to realize he's gotta kind of get more mature. I feel like I think that's a big thing with our young receivers.
Yeah, I agree
Your
with that.
thoughts, Zach?
Yeah, yeah. There was a couple like head scratcher plays, you know, that like you said, the play with, excuse me, you know, they cost us 10 seconds, like Clay, like even not even just Deontay Johnson. It's some of the Chase, Claypool celebrating, like you know, after you know they were down, cost us what 15 seconds. So
Right.
it's just some of the like football IQ of the team has to improve a little bit. All right, so that's going to do it for the third segment of episode 5 of the All Things Sports podcast. Coming up next, we are going to talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates, the MLB in general, and our plans for the Stanley Cup Final. Stay tuned for that. We will be right back right here on the All Things Sports podcast. Hello and welcome to the fourth and final segment. I had to think about that for a moment of the All Things Sports podcast, where we will be talking about the MLB. So now I'm bringing up the standings. I'm sorry, this is cut off on your screen, but on the AL East we have the top three. We have the New York Yankees, Tampa Bay Rays, and Toronto Blue Jays. The Rays are 4.5 games back. The AL Central, we have the Minnesota Twins, Chicago White Sox, and Cleveland Guardians. I almost called them the Indians, but that is not the correct name anymore. The White Sox are 4.5 back. In the AL West, hang on. Excuse me. AL West, we have Houston, the Angels, and Texas. The Angels are 2 games back in their division. Moving over to the National League now, we have the New York Mets, Atlanta Braves, and Phillies. The Atlanta is 7 games back. In the NL Central, we have the Milwaukee Brewers in first, St. Louis in second, Pirates somehow in third place with 9.5 games. We are 9.5 games back in our division, and finally in the NL West, or as I like to call it, the Super Conference or whatever it is, Super League. We have the LA Dodgers. I crack myself up. LA Dodgers, San Diego, and San Francisco. San Diego is only 1.5 games back. Talking about the Pirates now, they have most recent series. They took 2 out of 3 against the Colorado Rockies, winning most recently by a score of, I believe, 10-5. In the upcoming schedule for the Pirates now, we have the Pirates going to San Diego for, hang on, I don't know what their schedule is like. They play tomorrow at 9:40, Saturday 10:10, and Sunday at 4:10.
Zach,
Yes.
do you stay up for those games? Are you
Um,
to stay up and watch the Batman Bucks play?
no. I don't do that.
See,
Uh-uh.
I think
Who would stay up? Give me a minute. Who would stay up to watch the Buccos play
that
at 10:10 against the powerhouse San Diego Padres? Your thoughts, please.
no, that's what I'm saying. I feel like more people than because I think I don't know. I wonder how many people can't fall asleep, right? And they go out to the couch or whatever, turn on the TV because they realize the Bucks were playing, and more people than average watch the Pirates at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, the folks at that. Now, the one exception that I did stay up to 2 a.m. I saw this on Twitter a couple days ago. A couple days ago to the day, the Penguins scored in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Final against the Ottawa Senators in double overtime to advance. I stayed up to, I think it was till 1, 2 in the morning, but I'll watch the Penguins. I'll stay up and watch the Penguins play. All right, and we are going to take a...
Yeah, you know what I thought was interesting too, about just as of late, I really like I think the Mets are looking more and more like a series. Like they've just really been coming together. I mean, they don't even have Syndergaard in there, or I'm sorry, not Syndergaard, but they don't even have DeGrom in their rotation right now, and they're still dominating. I mean,
they don't have Scherzer either.
Oh, that's right. Yes. So I feel like they've just been, and they got Buck Showalter, who's been around for 30,000 years.
What is he? 700 years old? I mean, seriously.
But yeah, no, I need to watch more baseball because I need to get more of a complete look at the situation here. But I watched the Mets recently, and I really think that they're a strong team. Just my thoughts.
All right, and I'm pulling up if you could entertain the people for another moment or two, Daniel, please. While I pull up something else here.
What's the deal with airline food? You ever hear that opens yet? When you don't know what to talk about? No, but we could think of
yes. Here we go. All right.
USFL.
Oh yes, that's what I was actually pulling up. All right, so I'm going to show you the Maulers schedule. So they play on the 29th. They play the Birmingham Stallions, undefeated.
Oh
team.
yeah.
Oh
baby.
God, upset Central, baby.
Crazy things have happened.
Yes, sir. And I'm going to show you, just for the heck of it, the rest of the slate. So we got the Generals and Bandits, the Breakers, my other favorite team, and the Michigan Panthers. They play at 9 o'clock. The Birmingham Stallions and Pittsburgh Maulers. I root for like 3 teams. Maulers, Stallions, as much as the Maulers suck. Maulers, Stallions, and Breakers. Those are my two favorite teams. Anyway. Alright.
So Zach, I don't like, so obviously I know the Maulers stink, and so I need to watch more USFL because you've been talking about it, you've been getting me into it, you've been saying, oh, I love the Breakers uniforms.
It's halfway through the year already. Kind of late to get on.
I know. That's a good one. But this seems to be the equivalent. This is like the USFL version of the 1/16 matchup, and you realize, right, Jack, what happened a couple years ago in the 116 matchup. So I'm just trying to portray a little bit of optimism for our Pittsburgh fans because
wait. I'm going to stop you right there. What are you talking about? What are
the
you talking
Pittsburgh
about?
Maulers, I feel like I don't have experience with being a fan of a terrible team or the Pirates stink, but we
I
know
was,
that.
I was going to say, listen, we know all about what it is to be fans of a terrible team.
Right.
Our
No,
Pirates,
exactly. Not a
give me a
football
minute.
team.
Our Pirates have stunk since like 2015. All right,
Right.
so we know terrible teams. Continue.
Mm-hmm. Continue. No, but I was just saying I'm gonna pump up the Pittsburgh Maulers fan base for a second
Drop the
because we
hammer.
need pumping. Drop the hammer back. No, that's what like a couple years ago, right? Virginia UMBC. Nobody picks UMBC to win, baby.
Mm-hmm.
UMBC shocked the basketball world, man. So I'm just saying, drop the hammer today, boys. Yeah?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And with that, that was going to do it for episode number 5 of the All Things Sports podcast. We would like to thank everyone for listening. We would like to thank our loyal listeners that listen every single episode we post. And you folks know who you are, like I say every time. And, oh, yes, our plans for, we have special announcement. We are planning something very special for the Stanley Cup Final. So, the week when we know the teams, the week before or so, whenever we know the teams, we are going to do an episode that's going to be exclusively hockey. We will deep dive those two teams about their regular season, their playoff runs up to that point, and then we will also predict our Stanley Cup winner. Then, the clinching game of the Stanley Cup Final. We will be doing our first ever live episode that will be broadcast on YouTube exclusively, because I have not figured out a way to because we cannot live stream our audio. Anyway, we are going to be doing a live episode, the clinching game of the Stanley Cup Final, either the night that it happened or the morning after. So that has something to look forward to for our loyal listeners. And also we will also another thing. We've started a feedback form that will be posted in the descriptions on all platforms, so you can give us feedback, and also we will because we want to turn this program into something that there's we talk about things that you the listeners want to hear. So please take a moment and fill that out, and please give us your honest feedback if we need feedback, or else we don't get better. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's episode. Danny, anything else to say to the people?
Yeah, I mean, just again, excited for the future here. During this time, obviously, with everything going on in the world, sports is not the most important thing, and I think I recognize that, and I think Zach recognizes that as well. But I believe, sports has always been a really good outlet for me. So I hope that during this podcast, we provided that outlet for you folks. So thanks, everybody. Looking forward to the next one here.
All right, and that's going to do it for today's episode. We thank you all for listening. Be sure to tune in next week for episode 6 of the All Things Sports Podcast.